Connie Willis, the podcast. Taking you into new ways of thinking, even providing answers to questions you've often pondered. Connie Willis, the podcast. This is a Connie Willis exclusive. Whistleblower. What you're about to hear has never been heard anywhere else. This is Connie Willis, the podcast.
Connie Willis back with the private military, government contractor, and U.S. Navy Special Warfare veteran. Robert Treat is with us discussing his life, his background, and what he sees for the future and what he has learned along the way that he's going to tell us about. Whistleblower, informant, these are the names that a lot of people will tag on to him. It's Robert Treat, as well as deathbed confession. However, he's got a chance to make it through. Go to the GoFundMe that is in the description. Take a look, see where you can help.
Informant.
Well, why are they gone? Where are they? Why are they not here?
After the war, that split their race into these two factions. The losers, the fallen, the source of whatever power they used to be able to traverse the stargates was taken from them. Right, so they're bound within this solar system. They can't travel to the other star systems. They're bound here. The Primarchs, they went back to where they came from, went back to their galactic universal business, right? And things are left here to play out as they're going to play out. And we were never intended to. We were intended as a servant species, to the early Primarchs, the ones that were here, the ones that created us. We were just meant to be a servant species. But once we became aware, of what they call the knowledge of good and evil, or we were given the ability of free choice, right? And we chose bad. We were left to let it play out. And where we've been given, help from time to time, it's still left to us to play this thing out.
I don't think, looking at this scenario, they should have left. They could have easily built the trifecta of good, just like there's the trifecta of bad, right? I mean, why? We'll come back after so long.
I believe that they could, and
that could have really been a nice backbone of good, right?
Whatever their reasons are, and I've questioned that. You have the power, and I've even been angry at times when I've, called out to the Primarchs. Why this? Why don't you stop it? You can, if you can if you wanted to. I mean, maybe they have given us the answer. We just are too blind to it. Maybe a lot of things in the silly little parables that we take for granted is the message, are the truth. Teach a man to fish.
Unbelievable wisdom in there, and we continue to get where it's a horrible thing to say this or that. Even Christmas, we can't say Merry Christmas. We got to say Happy Holidays. And being in the media, I was always taught to do that. I was like, why? It's Christmas. We should be saying Merry Christmas. So let me. We got to hit everybody. Okay, we can hit everybody. We can also say Merry Christmas. So, because that's what the night is, right? So, okay, you had said earlier, you said, God forbid me say the word Jesus. See, I mean, it's like this whole thing is we got to stop saying certain things. So, who would the, how do you say
Primarchs?
Yeah, who would the Primarchs say and Mantid say Jesus was? And did they say he even existed, or would they? What would you know about that?
It's something I never asked because religion wasn't a part of my life.
That'd be interesting to ask your guide on that one, because that was such a huge name that people want to, that's Christmas. We all
Yeah.
celebrate it. But there's a whole other side going, no, 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 to Jesus, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm just
And
wondering
who I think, given the things that he said, and because I heard very similar things, from the Primarch, um, is I think he was, a high grade hybrid. When he talks about, uh,
and he was good. He could have been part of there's your trifecta, right?
yeah,
God,
he
Holy
talks
Spirit,
he talks about his
Jesus.
father, and the way he talks about his father is very much like the Primarch I met. Like, you
Well,
know, this is the guy, right?
so there is the trifecta, right? What are we thinking? It's not like we haven't heard that before.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll figure it all out here.
This is a Connie Willis exclusive on Connie Willis, the podcast.
So at this party, I heard this Rockefeller say these things that come to pass, and that's when I really started feeling like I don't want to be a part of this anymore. Like, any other things that I'd heard, just the way they talk about, how they're going to, rule the country, how they're going to rule the world, the new world order, and how they really did see, like, things like they believed that the planet is theirs, and like everything natural and beautiful and wonderful about this planet, the forests, the jungles, the countryside, the quality food, all of that should be reserved for them, and that we should be pent up into. They were really wanting us into mega cities. If you remember, years and years ago, they were trying out experimenting with those micro apartments to see if people would accept living in these micro apartments.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that in New York?
Yeah.
Probably other places. That was part of the social testing, to see how well humans would acclimatize to those types of living conditions. America was a very difficult culture to implement that in. So those implementations and those experimentations into social conditioning are actually being done in China because they have more control of that there. So you're more likely to see a mass population living in micro apartments in China because those people have been way more conditioned than we have, right? My fear for America is they're just going to, that the American population, which we see ourselves as, that America is the world. It's very much not. The American mentality is very, very minute compared to the rest of the world. Getting rid of us would be a drop in the bucket, and it would eliminate a huge problem of these entitled little people, right? When the Asians and the Africans are going to be a much easier market to box into these mega cities and these confined spaces to where, nature is just there for the enjoyment of the elites. When I say that they want to be gods, that's how they see it. The natural parks and stuff should be for their enjoyment, not us peasants. We need to work and toil and consume and purchase and provide and grind. And they would feed us back to each other if they could get away with it as, pre-packaged protein rations.
Informant. What you just heard has never been heard anywhere else. This is Connie Willis, the podcast. Informant. Learn more about Connie, her guests, and be sure to join her private membership shows, Blue Rock Talk and Connie After Dark, at ConnieWillis.com. Whistleblower.